Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and distinguished dignitaries, good morning and welcome to this momentous occasion as we gather here to celebrate the Golden Jubilee of University of Hyderabad and the Silver Jubilee of School of Management Studies through this distinguished lecture series. It is an honor to extend a warm welcome to each one of you who has graced us with your presence today. Your presence signifies not only the shared history we celebrate today, but also the bright future that lies ahead. On this remarkable milestone of academic excellence, please join me in welcoming the dignitaries on the dais. I request the dignitaries to please take their seat on the dais. To begin with, I would request Professor Mary Jessica, Dean School of Management Studies, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Pankure. At the outset, I would like to welcome the Vice Chancellor, Professor Bhimaraya Metri, the distinguished lecture series first speaker, Professor Bhimaraya Metri, the dignitaries of the days, faculty colleagues, research scholars, invitees, and students. A very warm and hearty welcome to the first lecture of the distinguished series commemorating the Golden Jubilee of the University of Hyderabad and the Silver Jubilee of the School of Management Studies. We wouldn't have had a better person to deliver this first lecture to start off the series. A very warm welcome. Since we are celebrating the Silver Jubilee of the school, just need to mention that we began very small. Our beginnings were very humble. We were very less populated in the sense we had 2 research scholars doing their PhD and 30 students who were doing their MBA. We had 1 stream of MBA. Over the years, we have added 3 more MBAs to our kitty. And over 25 years, I think it's quantitatively very productive. We have never compromised on the qualitative aspects, and our research publications have definitely improved over the years, if not decades. And the number of citations that the school boasts of has definitely increased. Not only the faculty, but our research scholars also are raring to do great. Our research scholars are employed in best of the academic institutions, including NIITs, IIMs, and so on. And our MBA students from across the streams are highly placed, and they occupy covetous positions in the corporate. And not to mention about the healthcare, they are fully employed even before their course ends. And the pay packages and everything has been going up. And I think as the dean who is standing at the podium in the 25th year of the School of Management Studies, I feel very privileged and proud to be speaking this. Again, I warmly welcome you. I wouldn't take much of the time of the distinguished speaker who has a lot of content to deliver. Thank you once again and welcome you. Thank you. Have a great day.
A heartfelt thank you, ma'am, for gracing us with your presence and for delivering the welcome address. It is my honor to invite a distinguished individual whose words carry profound weight and whose presence resonates with the essence of this movement, Professor B.J. Rao. Professor B.J. Rao, currently the Vice Chancellor of University of Hyderabad, served as Senior Professor, Chair of Biology, Dean Faculty at the Indian Institute of Science Education and Research, Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh. Prior to that, he was associated with Biology Department at Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Mumbai, for about 24 years and served as Senior Professor and Chair of the Biology Program. Sir has received his PhD from Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, and worked as a research scientist at Yale University Medical School, USA, before joining TIFR, Mumbai. Professor Rao has won many awards and recognitions. He has contributed significantly as the chief editor of Journal of Biosciences, a flagship journal of Indian Academy of Sciences, and Springer Nature. I humbly request Professor B.J. Rao to address the gathering.
Firstly, I applaud the University of Hyderabad for being part of a Golden Jubilee journey this year. I also want to applaud School of Management Studies for successfully finishing its 25 years of journey and now is going through Silver Jubilee year. So let's give a big applause to both these entities. I am looking at Prof Bhimaraya Metri's picture, very beautiful picture. I want to welcome here in person for going to give a distinguished lecture as a part of distinguished lecture series in School of Management Studies. Thank you, sir. Today's topic is a very interesting and challenging topic. The topic is to hit 5 trillion economy and to sustain it and go further up from there. Currently we are 3 trillion economy, 5th largest in the world. So currently we are punching at the level of our weight. Sheerly by the size of our economy we are 5th largest. Now going to 3rd largest means we have to punch above our weight, where per capita GDP must look much more attractive than what it is today. That's the goal. So that every Indian must feel elevated enough. Currently it's a mixed bag. We are trapped in what is called middle income country trap. We are doing well, in some areas barely well, in some other areas extremely well. To go to 5th largest or 5th trillion, 5 trillion or 3rd largest is to essentially come out of this trap using high technology and at a scaled up version. This is the need now. Unless we adopt high technology in most of our areas of productivity and at an impressive scale, we will not come out of this trap, essentially. This is what China did it in late 70s, early 80s, late 80s. This transition is required. And it is this, for this transition of India, we need lot of skilled people. High technology cannot be implemented at scale without people being highly skilled. This is very important. You may have everything in the world, but if you don't have skill, you can't implement the technology. And discussing this 5 trillion topic in the University of Hyderabad is extremely relevant because we are the genesis of high talent for the country. So if you don't do well as a university in terms of creating knowledge, in terms of imparting skill, in terms of producing innovative minds, India as a country cannot leapfrog. It's very, very clear. Only knowledge economies can leapfrog to top positions in the world. So the struggle to go from 5th to 4th, 4th to 3rd is not going to be easy, but we can foresee it in about maybe 10, 15 years from now, we will be 3rd. Maybe even sooner. But after we reach 3rd, the real bloodshed will begin between 1, 2 and 3. For that we should be ready. That's the struggle race between India, China and USA. For that the country should be roaring with knowledge economy, with high skilled manpower and with highly innovative minds. This is a need for the coming 1, 2, 3 decades. If we don't use that opportunity, somebody else will come and sit at the place where we are stuck. So it's a real race, And there are opportunities that in this real race we might actually win. And I would assume that Professor Bhimaraya Metri is a scholar who would shed additional light on these bottlenecks that we are facing and give some highlights on how we should overcome these bottlenecks. I'm not going to steal the thunder. He's our best scholar. So I'm here to listen to him rather than say something more than what I've already said. So thank you very much for inviting me here. So let's make the best use of this day today and dream about 5 trillion and make it real. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable insights and for the enlightening speech. Our speaker for today, Professor Bhimaraya Metri, Director, IIM Nagpur, is a distinguished academician, renowned teacher, researcher, and an astute administrator. Dr. Metri is the former director of IIM Tiruchirappalli. Under his dynamic leadership, IIM Tiruchirappalli has catapulted among the league of top business schools in India. A renowned expert in the area of project management and infrastructure, quality management and supply chain management, he has numerous research papers and books to his credit. Currently, Dr. Metri is the member of Indian National Commission for Cooperation with UNESCO. He is also serving on the panel of experts for mentoring the Institutes of Eminence and also as the chairman of All India Board of Management Studies, AICTE New Delhi, Management and Systems Division Council, Human Resources Management and Innovation Sectional Committee of Bureau of Indian Standards, New Delhi, and IIMA Board of Studies, New Delhi. Dr. Metri serves as an honorary advisor to Tamil Nadu E-Governance Agency's Center for Excellence in Emerging Technologies, Ministry of IT, Government of Tamil Nadu, Member Management Committee, PMA India, Chancellor's Nominee on Academic Council, Sant Gaj Baba Amravati University, and many more institutions and universities. He also has served as the member expert group for implementation of NEP 2020 and also on the board of Decision Sciences Institute, Houston, Texas. Dr. Metri was the leader of the 2 Indian delegations to Bali, Indonesia for ISO TC 260 and to Amersfoort, Netherlands for ISO TC 251 for development of international standards. He was the chairman of the International Academic Review Committee for Sultan Qaboos University, Muscat, Oman, foreign expert for HEQAAC, UGC, Nepal, member ABMC Accreditation Panel, Osaka, Japan, member Eurasia Pacific Uninet. Dr. Metri was the first Indian elected as the Vice President, Asia Pacific Division, Decision Sciences Institute. Sir has been instrumental in enhancement of physical and intellectual infrastructure and increased the strength of PGDM programs for successfully positioning MDI Gurgaon, IMI Delhi, and IIM Tiruchirappalli amongst the leading business schools of the country. For such illustrious contributions to the society, he has been bestowed with several prestigious awards and recognitions. To start with, Dr. Metri is the only serving IIM director to receive the country's prestigious IMA Keval Noria Award for Academic Leadership in Management Education, Distinguished Services Award by Asia Pacific Decision Sciences Institute, Top Director Award by CSR, among others. I now invite Professor Metri to deliver the first lecture for the distinguished lecture series titled India's Vision for $5 Trillion Economy.
Very good morning, respected Vice Chancellor Professor Rao, the Dean of the School of Management Studies, Professor Mary Jessica, Professor Airala Lokanand Reddy, all the distinguished professors, research scholars, invited guests, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I thank the Central University, Hyderabad for inviting me for this distinguished lecture series on the great occasion of Golden Jubilee of the University and Silver Jubilee of the School of Management. So first of all, my hearty congratulations to all of you and you are at right place at right time, and it is a great occasion, rarest of rare occasion, the university's Golden Jubilee and the School of Management's Silver Jubilee. So great occasion, hearty congratulations, thank you very much. So now when it comes to this interesting topic, strong yet sustainable, India's march towards third largest economy. So this is the Himalayan goal. And you know that the moment you call Himalayan goal, Himalayan energy flow in. So that is where I say Himalayan goal. And this particular university, sir was talking about leapfrog, jumping, geometric growth. I think this is the university out of Institute of Eminence, only central university, projected and moved in the Institute of Eminence out of so many central universities, 45 and odd. This is the only one under the leadership of Professor Rao and all of you distinguished faculty member. You already showcased what others used to think impossible, Central University can make it possible. You already proved it. I think leapfrog is going to be the reality. It is not remain as a dream. So dream is going to be reality. Now if you see the history of India, when it comes to GDP, we are talking about third largest, we are dreaming. But if you look at the GDP of the country, before 1977, India's GDP was higher than China's GDP. 78 onwards, China took a lead and India remained a slow growth, and China got a tremendous jump. The one important reason, 1992, 93 to 2004, those 10 years, China pumped almost 50% of the cement produced in the world and 35% of the steel produced in the world were used for building the China's infrastructure. And that is where China became the best infrastructure in the world, and China became manufacturing hub of the globe. And before 80s, Shanghai and Mumbai both were the financial capital of respective countries. Rather, before 80, Mumbai was a little bigger than Shanghai. Today, Shanghai became financial capital of the globe, and Mumbai remained a financial capital of the country. So that 77 and 80, they were the periods China made a mark. Now, if you look at today, 2018, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, they set up a task force. In October 2018, they came out with a vision for 5 trillion economy, US dollar 5 trillion economy. Now that vision, the task force crystal clear, they mentioned out of 5 trillion economy, how it is going to come. They have some kind of calculation at that time. So 1 trillion comes from agriculture and allied areas. 1 trillion US dollar is coming from manufacturing, and 3 trillion, a champion, that is a service sector, is going to give 3 trillion. This is how 1 plus 1 plus 3, that is a calculation 2018. And you might have basically saw the newspaper after the announcement. There were a lot of news items. It is going to be impossible. We are talking about what is not possible. That was the kind of newspaper items you might have seen. It is going to be a dream. It is not going to be a reality. That was the perception. And if you see Azim Premji, a great IT icon, he always used to say, after the meeting, after setting the target, once I come out of the room and I normally look back, because if you look back, what is the people's reaction for my statement, my goal? So if you say that people are not laughing at me, it means I am keeping the small goals for them. If I keep the goals which people think impossible, then they laugh at me in my absence. So I think that is what happened 2018. So it was impossible goal, it was kept. But if you look at the history of GDP of India, how it is going to be not only reality, we are going to see that 5 trillion economy much before what IMF predicted. So International Monetary Fund projected 2027-2028, India is going to hit the 5 trillion economy. But according to Government of India, 25, they are planning 5 trillion economy as per the 2018's announcement of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. But if you look at the history of GDP, last 60 years, 2047 to 2007, so 60-year India took to realize 1 trillion economy. To reach 1 trillion, 1947 to 2007, we took 60 years. But 2007 onwards, if you see the next 1 trillion, that came just in 7 years. 2007 to 2014, we realized 2 trillion economy. Now, third trillion, if you see, 3.1 trillion we realized, 2021, means 2015 to 2021, next 6 years, we realized 3.11 trillion economy. And if you look at the 2021 to 2024 February 4 base, if you see the report, we are already in 4.112 trillion. India is already there. Just last month's report, we are 4.11 in just 3 years. So 60-year, 1 trillion, 7 years, second trillion we added, and third trillion we added, just 6 years. And in 3 years, we are again another 1 trillion, 4.112. Now less than 1 trillion, we have to realize. These are the reports. If you Google, you can get the figures. Now, 2025, what government has set, and if you see the kind of economy, and somebody has predicted that India is going to add, every couple of years, it is going to add 1 trillion for 14 to 15 years from now. Every couple of years means couple of years may not be more than 3. It may be around 2 years plus or minus. We are going to add 1 trillion every time. And if you look at the Government of India's launch 2 months back, a Viksit Bharat, developed nation, and there the target is 30 trillion. So developed nation, so that target if you see, and another 20, almost 23, 24 years, Amrut Kal at that time, and if you add all these trillions, probably that 30 trillion also we may hit as per the calculation. Now, how we are going to achieve, that is a very, very important. How we are moving and why we are moving in that direction, how we are adding these trillions a few years, and those equations, if you look into that, you might have heard about our Honorable Prime Minister talked about Atmanirbhar Bharat. Local, vocal and global. So Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliance, and as a part of that, Government of India has come out with many schemes. You all might have heard about, to achieve all this Make in India, it was announced maybe about 14, 15, Make in India. Now, if you see our Honorable Youth Minister, Thakurji has told in the very recently, last week only, Government of India is going to give concession to all those companies, those who are going to use Indian components for their production. So if your OEMs are coming from India, those companies are going to get a lot of discount, means basically promoting local products instead of getting the global products. Already Japan is doing, Korea is doing big way, China is doing, now India is also. Instead of putting our companies at the global level, there is some kind of favorism for our own India produced products. So government is going to give a lot of incentives for that. That is one as a part of Make in India. If you look at the Startup India is another scheme Government of India announced. And as a part of Startup India, if you look at the figures, it is already crossed more than 1 lakh. And these figures are only urban figures. Government, whatever the data, it has more towards the government figures are already the educated startups. So if you look at the urban, they are all, promoted by whether it is Niti Aayog, Atal Innovation Centers, or some of the incubation centers in the universities and institutions. Those figures are about more than 1,14,000 precisely. And unicorn 107. So this clearly talks about, and we are number 3 as far as startup space is concerned in the globe. Now this clearly tells about we are preparing entrepreneurial minds and we are also preparing job creator. And this is one area government has focused, and a lot of schemes are there. Startup India Seed Fund. Even in IIM Nagpur, we got the first installment. We have promoted 13 of the new young entrepreneurs. So that is the way many institutions are trying, and people and many organizations are getting into that. And last year budget, if you look into that, agri-entrepreneurship, our Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Finance Minister announced particularly money for those who are venturing into agriculture area, agri-startup, agri-tech area they are promoting. So that is another scheme that is going to help us to realize that. And the third way to achieving the 5 trillion and also the Amrut Kal Viksit Bharat, that is Indian youth. You are all young people, scholars and students. So India is the youngest nation today as far as working population is concerned. And youngest nation is extremely important, and history reveals very important aspect when it comes to young. If you look at the history of Japan, 1965 Japan was the youngest nation. And after 15 years, 1980 Japan became super economy, and it remained super economy of the globe for 15 years till 1995. And somewhere 85-90, Singapore became youngest nation, and 95 to 2000, Singapore ruled as an innovative as well as a super economy. Then 2000, China became a youngest nation, and 2000 onwards, till today, China is a global leader, emerged as a global leader. Now, if you look at the predictions of some of the global predictions, they predicted that India is going to take a global leadership from China by 27-28. Means when we realize the third largest economy at that time, India is going to take a global leadership from China. And today, if you look at most of the product, even our Ganesha festival, we get Ganesha statue from Chinese produced, and they don't worship, they only produce for India. So customized product Chinese are producing for the globe as a manufacturing hub. So now the time is for India. If you look at the manufacturing space, which government has emphasized 1 trillion coming from that, so 2022 announcement of our Honorable Railway Minister Ashwini-ji, if you look at the figures, 10,000 billion US dollar is being pumped for manufacturing of semiconductors and iPhones. So semiconductor means everybody used to look towards Taiwan. Now India is going to be the destiny. And when it comes to iPhone, it was produced in China. Now many companies started moving from China to India is now destiny for manufacturing. So when after liberalization, China was the manufacturing hub of the globe, India was the IT service center. But now India is also going to take a lead in manufacturing as a part of lot of schemes, Make in India, as well as government is also investing a lot. When it comes to education, Anusandhan, National Research Foundation, as a part of National Education Policy, Government of India has already, reserved the money of 50,000 crore rupees. 2 years back, our Honorable Finance Minister has kept the money for National Research Foundation, that is the 50,000 crore rupees has been kept for R&D. So if you want to be a leader in manufacturing, I think it is extremely important. You should not be a consumer of the technology. India should be the producer of the technology. You see, till today, biggest consumer of technology, India, because 1.42 billion population, we are consuming a technology. That is why, entire world is looking towards India, because the great economies are where there is a more consumer and where there is a youth population. So therefore, now entire Western world looking towards India and China as far as consumption of product is concerned. But Chinese, they went into manufacturing and we could not. So therefore, now it is high time to India is already focusing on R&D, so that product coming from India, and it is not only from India to India, from India to the world. And that is what the focus of Government of India, a local, vocal and global. And as a part of that, the Startup India scheme, Stand Up India schemes and innovation, these are all the indexes adding to promote an ecosystem of manufacturing. Now, when it comes to rural economy, that is another way for the 5 trillion. Rural economy, our Honorable Prime Minister focuses, unless until you take the rural economy to the next orbit, we cannot achieve what we want to achieve. Because there is a divide between urban and rural. So urban is a different level and rural is a different level. And how to take the rural economy to the higher level. As a part of that, I told agri-tech or agri-entrepreneur government is promoting. And also the rural economy to promote, Niti Aayog came out with a separate scheme. They came out with help desk. Help desk means every state there are going to be help desks of Niti Aayog. IIM Nagpur has taken for Maharashtra, they have given to IIM Nagpur. So all the problem in 3 areas, healthcare, education and agriculture. So these 3 areas, what are the problems are there? Those problems, state government will give to the respective research centers or institutions or centers of excellence, and they will solve the problem, and Niti Aayog incentivize something like that. So to promote the rural economy, Government of India is already doing as a part of promoting rural economy. And the second part is how to take MSME to the next level. If you look at the MSMEs today, they contribute 29% of the GDP. Now, Government of India's plan is MSMEs should contribute 50% of the GDP. They are small in number, but they are large in number. So small in number means, small in size, but large in number. So small in size means basically, if you go by the numbers, there are all put together more than 65 million MSMEs, 6.5 crore MSMEs in the country. And those MSMEs, the biggest challenge for the MSMEs is how to scale up. They start up, they work with small number of people, they produce a product. 2 issues for them. One is how to market their product, and second one is how to scale up. Now, market their product and scale up, these 2 areas, they can't afford to go to a big giants like McKinsey, PwC and KPMG, because they charge crores of rupees for their solving their problems. Now, as a part of that, now if government provide the support, such MSMEs, for solving their problem in various areas, right from the trade at internal as well as foreign trade, as well as operational leadership, marketing, and also some of the government schemes, how to avail. There is a lot of government schemes to help the MSMEs to move to the next orbit. So for that purpose, if the institutions like a School of Management or even Central University, some of the centers of excellence, they come out with the centers where MSMEs will pose the problem and young minds and students as well as professors under the guidance of professors, if they solve their problem with a nominal fee, probably this is another solution one can do it. And IIM Nagpur is going to sign MOU with SIDBI, and we are going to connect. MSMEs are going to be the members of center, and they will pose the problem. Our students will solve the problem. As a part of experiential learning, as a part of NEP, we are going to give credit for that. So this is the way we can take the MSMEs to the next level, and also academia will get connect with the industries. And the another important aspect is these MSMEs, if you give this kind of boost, solving their problem with a nominal price, probably 1 trillion economy will come only from 65 million MSMEs if this movement happens at national level. IIT Kanpur is already doing similar kind of things, but it is in a different mode. I think these are the ways one can get into take the MSMEs and rural economy to the next level. When it comes to the green, today everybody is talking about sustainability. Everybody is talking about ESG. Now Mother Earth is in danger. We can't afford to neglect while looking at the 5 trillion economy and third largest economy in the world. So for that purpose, simultaneously it is important to focus on 17 sustainable development goals. And of course, education is one of them. We are all working on that. And health, hunger, many areas, all the 17 areas. And particularly when it comes to business, the business has to be a sustainable. As usual, business is not going to work out. A sustainable business is going to play an important role. So that ESG, if the investor will invest only in those companies where they have ESG score is as per the norms. Or those who are not getting investment they want to develop, they can focus on various models of sustainability. And you know that last year, our Honorable Prime Minister, when he went to COP meeting in Europe, he promised that India is going to be carbon neutral by 2070. Now, carbon neutral means basically whatever the activities we do, everywhere we need to focus on sustainability. And if you look at the global figures, some of the estimates, they say that already we have used 1.75 times of the natural resources. We can't afford to use the same way, and that is where the mandate for all fossil fuel companies like oil industries, Coal India, or even Neyveli Lignite, many NMDC, all those companies now, fossil fuel companies, they have to compulsorily publish sustainability report on the website and also submit the report to government so that, and for that, as a part of that, they should go for digital transformation so that they can reduce the carbon footprint. At the same time, they can also provide the wealth to the nation. So these are the how to, and climate action and this green growth, these are the important aspects while doing the 5 trillion economy we are envisaging for 2025. Next, when it comes to R&D and education, as I told you, Anusandhan, that is National Research Foundation, and education, as you know that few years back, Government of India came out with Institute of Eminence and Central University. Hyderabad is right there. So 10 government and 10 private, and they have been given full autonomy so that these institutions can compete at global level. Not only a QS ranking, but a premier institution at global level. So, and there are many IITs and also institutions like BITS Pilani, Sivanadar, OP Jindal, VIT, and Coimbatore based Amrita. So there are many institutions, they are into Institute of Eminence. So all these institutions are given a lot of autonomy and also a special funding Government of India has given to promote these higher education institutions to the level. And apart from this, Government of India also 3 years back came out with National Education Policy 2020, and this is a gold standard and a game changer in the area of education, and total transformation of education is going to happen in NEP, and many changes are low-hanging fruits. Already many activities are taking place at institution level, and as a part of national education policy, every institutions are going to be autonomous. Affiliated colleges are going to convert themselves into a research university or comprehensive teaching university or degree granting college, so that every institutions are going to be autonomous. And autonomy, another symbol for autonomy is growth as well as quality. If you see all those autonomous institutions, they stand up in the crowd when it comes to quality and when it comes to growth. So that is the Government of India plan to give the autonomy to all the institutions through NEP 2020. As a part of that, quality will grow, and also students are equipped what industry wants, what industry needs. So that is a kind of NEP 2020, and today we have 49,000 and odd colleges, 1,200 and odd universities. Probably in 10 to 15 years we are going to have maybe 10 to 15,000 universities may emerge out of 49,000 and odd colleges. So it is going to be a game changer in education sector, and customized programs will come, and 3 year to 4 year, plus a lot of credit systems, and many changes are going to come, multiple entry, multiple exit. So that is going to be a game changer. Plus Indian universities are going abroad, and universities from abroad are going to come India as a foreign university bill. So there is a lot of cooperation, collaboration, as well as competition in higher education institutions. So that is going to change the DNA of higher education institution. It is going to boost, as Honorable Vice Chancellor rightly said, two important tasks the higher education institutions are going to do as a part of 5 trillion economy, basically shaping the talent as per the needs of the industry. That is one aspect. Second one is basically creating an ecosystem for a startup, for entrepreneurs. So that these two tasks, basically already Atal Innovation Center, our Honorable Prime Minister dreamed of 101, and last year they are given 101 institutions Atal Innovation Center, and the highest funding of 10 crores already given. And there are schemes like a DST in entrepreneur, and entrepreneur fellowship programs, Startup India Seed Fund. Like that, many schemes are there to promote the ecosystem of startup and entrepreneurs. With this, when you look at to achieve all those things, Government of India also came out with some of the regulation, policy changes. You know that unless until there is a change in regulation, we cannot achieve all these things. Because many times, some of the regulation and some of the non-value-adding activities at regulatory level, they may delay the things and also waste of resources. So as a part of NEP also, light and tight. So no over-regulation. So light regulation and also strict measures are taken those who violate. Similarly, at regulatory level, Government of India has come out with promoting this industrial growth. They came out with ease of doing business. And ease of doing business, India is continuously going up. And also innovation index, we are continuously going up. Apart from this, government also came out with digital infrastructure in big way. And probably India is number one when it comes to digital infrastructure. I think we should be proud of whether it is UPI, whether it is Aadhaar card, whether it is ONDC. Now ONDC is giving big hit to Amazon and all Flipkart kind of companies. They are afraid of Government of India. It is a open source, and it is more secured, and it is also more cheaper, and data transparency is there, security is there, and also the monopoly of Amazon and Flipkart, that is going to disappear. And highest digital infrastructure or highest order of digital transformation happened at government level. and if you look at the global level, India has already achieved that. Digital India scheme, it is now, earlier there was a huge digital divide, now it is also the gap between urban and rural and digital divide is going to come. So these are all the schemes. ONDC is a game changer, UPI highest, we are number one. And probably if you see in India, what we are doing is highest order of, the government has done the digital transformation. And at household level, we all, we order the food sitting in, instead of going to restaurant, we can get the food in house. We can order the items sitting in house instead of going to the market. So digitalization has happened at government level and at household level, each one of us. In between industries, most of the industries in India, they are still yet to gear up into digital transformation. So in between, what sir was talking about middle, so middle level, basically government level it has happened highest, and household level we fully utilize using mobile, all those things. And probably if you see that this one mobile has affected 59 businesses. If you look at the typical iPhone, we don't only use the iPhone for telephone, we use for banking. We use for VC, we use for camera, and this mobile has killed companies like Kodak, and Nokia suffered. So these are many of the companies, Samsung came out with many things. So these are the way transformation is happening, disruption is happening, and India in real sense disrupted rest of the world when it comes to digital transformation. And it is a recent phenomena, UPI, Aadhaar and these, and in 4 or 5 years results are going to be visible. Application of those are going to make a big difference, and this government ONDC is going to make a mark, set a benchmark, and probably there is a hit for Amazon and Flipkart kind of companies. So this is the way India is going to disrupt the others as well as the international agencies, because now how to promote Indian businesses, Indian entrepreneurs, that focus has been there. And China succeeded, Korea's electronic product, LG and all, they because promoting their domestic product, local and global. So these are some of the schemes. I am sure a government of India is already coming out. And apart from that, when it comes to healthcare, Ayushman Bharat, healthy body, healthy mind is important to achieve all those things we can't afford. So this is the way we are going to move. So in this way, India is going to not only hit, and if you go according to one figure, that several estimates have shown that India's GDP is expected to overtake Japan and Germany by 2030. Now Japan and Germany, they are 4.11 or 4 point something trillion, but it's 25, 26 as per our estimate, and as per the IMF 27, 28, but some of the estimates say this. And according to the S&P, it is a standard agency global level, their estimate says India is going to hit 7.3 trillion by 2030 and emerging as a leader, beating Germany and Japan. They are in between. We are number 5th, and to reach number 3, these two are there, we may go for 7.3. That 7.3 estimate seems to be in sync with a government of India scheme. So these are the ways India is going to achieve. And as a youth population and India as a now emerging as a disruptor, we can make a mark. So with this, thank you very much for calm and quiet listening.
So we have come to the end of the distinguished lecture. Rather, I have to request Professor Metri to conclude, because we are stuck between the conference inauguration and his lecture. We had to schedule this today because of Professor Metri's busy schedule. And I know I was risking between two people. One is Professor Metri, as you have seen. You just can't stop him, unstoppable. So he goes on, speaking. I know him for last 15 years. Wherever we go, he is unstoppable. The another is our Pramod Kumar Mishra. today's conference coordinator. He is also unstoppable. He happened to be the student of Professor Metri. So he has inherited some of his things. So Pramod came and signaled me a couple of times. You are encroaching into my time. Sir, I'm really sorry. We have to, ask you to conclude, but yeah. Yes, sir, yes. So SAR is continuing into the inauguration of the conference also. So I sincerely apologize and I sincerely request sir that he will continue some of his thoughts in the conference lecture. Thank you so much, sir, for having considered our request and having come here despite your busy schedule. We had to trouble you because we had one thing that we wanted this series to start with Professor Metri. So we couldn't think of anybody else. So we had to wait for him to give the time. So he has adjusted his time. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much from the university. So now, before we give a small memento, sir wants to take a couple of questions. Just 2 questions from audience. Yeah.
Sir, as you mentioned, the Make in India program.
Yeah.
So it was not a very huge success. What was the major reason for
It was not a...
huge success? The Make in India program.
You see, when Make in India, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
When Make in India scheme was announced, 14-15, the scheme was announced, and after announcing, you might have observed that around 14 to 16, lot of Chinese companies entered in India. They grabbed Make in India scheme, and Chinese companies, in particularly telecom area, they came, and a lot of telephone, mobile companies came, and they also set up manufacturing, including Hyderabad and Delhi. And they captured and they started making this program, Make in India program from India to the world, all they marketed. And Chinese, known for stealing the data. And Chinese, all R&D is all stealing because Chinese FDI, if you look into that, the highest FDI, global level China, and today if you look at the FDI in India, Maharashtra is 30%, Karnataka is 29%, and Gujarat is 60%. 75% FDI only these 3 states, and if you go Bihar it is 0.39 and UP 0.69, so it is undistributed. But Chinese came, and then the government modified that scheme, and today it is a successful scheme, Make in India. And very recently, 2022, after this, our Honorable Railway Minister announced semiconductor, and 85 institutions are involved, and they are going to, their students are trained to join the semiconductor and iPhone manufacturing. And now it is initially it was, anything you start new, there are always teething problems, and corrections, recorrections, and stability takes time. And today it is a very powerful scheme. And if any scheme of Government of India, they say, unless until you use our OEM for any production, then you are not going to get government incentives and subsidies. So it is now going to be more robust, and it is already last 3-4 years. It is a great way India is moving in that direction.
Yeah, good morning, Professor. This is Dr. Chinmay Bhaira. So I have 2 simple questions. Though we are enjoying the democratic dividend, but still challenges lies before us. One such case is fertility rate. So fertility rate is going down, and currently 2.1%. So that means in another 1 decade, we'll be losing our demographic dividend. So that we are going to be the aging population. India is going to be the aging population. That is the one issue. The second issue is invention of AI and artificial intelligence, that resulting into the layoffs, right? So in that 2 challenges, how we are going to become the developed nation?
Okay, great question. You see, if you look at as I told you, Japan, Singapore, China, now turn India as a nation. China, if you remember maybe a decade back, earlier they were having around 2,000 one-child policy. They moved again 1 child to 2 child. They have changed because it was, now China is also aging nation. To become young, they modified it. If you see, global restructuring is happening. Canada, Europe, US, Japan, China, these are all the aging nations. And there people retired are more in number and young population is much less. That is one aspect. And India, as he has rightly said, it is not 5-10 years, but it will be another 10-15 years or so. That is why 14-15 I told. 15 years or so, India is going to take an entire world for its leadership. Global leadership will come and India is going to rule. And from there, youngest continent is African continent, and South Africa is the oldest, where average age is 28. And if you compare the globe, that is the youngest, but if you compare the African continent, out of 50 and odd companies, South Africa is 54, and the youngest nation in that Niger is a 14-year, the median age. So from India, leadership is going to move according to prediction to African countries. And it is going to happen, and this fertility and all, it is already, we have seen Japan, average is 42 or so, and even Europe, Europe is, it is already, they are living in the history. America is living in the history. India is creating a history. And nobody can stop India to create a history, because not only demographic dividend, but the kind of leadership and the kind of schemes have come, and the transparency is coming. So these are all, every country has to, pass through the cycle, and we are at right time at present. But after some time, this issue will be for everybody, not only for India. Nothing can be done. But it is not for 5-10 years, it is for 15 years or so, we are going to take a control of the globe. Now, when it comes to second AI, you see IoT, you all seen, AI, 3D printing. These are all the disruptions are happening, new things are coming. So therefore, now the Skill India scheme, I have not told when, he told the time up. So Skill India, you see, Government of India Skill India scheme has come now. How quickly we can, move to the next level of skill, which is relevant to the present world, whereas present world is continuously changing. So Skill India, as a part of that, a government, lot of thrust on Skill India. Skill means not only, because skill has a self-life. So we have to, knowledge, attitude, apart from that, the skill is the competency. Competency alone is not enough. We have to build the capability, and for that, experiential learning plays an important role to make a philosophical mind, so that after graduating, students or anybody, or even L&D, learning and development of the corporate world, they have to prepare such a manpower, they can be a change master to lead the unknown roles in unborn companies. You never heard such company, such product, you can work on that. That kind of mindset we have to prepare as a part of Skill India. And the government is doing lot of effort, lot of NSDC is already working on that, and skill universities are coming. So many things are moving, and AI, as I told you, IoT, Internet of Things, and AI, and young people like us, if you work, both are young, one is age-wise, one is experience-wise young. So all together, if we put IoT and AI, probably we can create Internet of Ability, IOA. From Internet of Ability, the moment you are more able, more competent, internally, our behavior will change. I hope all of you agree. So Internet of Behavior. So IoT to IOA to IOB. So this is how we have to how quickly we can learn the things which are relevant to the present world. That is what going to help us, and therefore perpetual learners are going to lead the world, and that is where, to remain relevant, as Sir rightly said, lifelong learning is going to play an important role. And for that, I think my scholars and students' important message is, if you see all over the world, all the great leaders are the readers. So therefore, you should read a lot, remain relevant, and you will be always ahead of the time, and you will be the great sense maker. Sense makers are going to rule the world, and that comes from the philosophical mind, which is there in NEP, that is IKS, Indian Knowledge System. Basically, you can develop your sixth sense and sense making, and Satya Nadella from Hyderabad boy has made a noise in the entire world, and he is a great sense maker in the world. Thank you very much. I hope you got it.
Yes. So it doesn't matter where he is, either at the mic, at the podium, or sitting. So it's an express. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for having come here and delivered the first distinguished lecture. So I don't even have time to express my vote of thanks heartfully, so I'll keep it short. So I would like to thank Professor Bhimaraya Garu, our Vice Chancellor, for all the support, his ideas, especially the strong yet sustainable is the theme that is coined by Professor Bhimaraya for this distinguished lecture series. So I hope we'll become much stronger and sustainable in the process. Thank you so much, sir, for the theme that you suggested and for all the academic inputs, apart from the administrative help and support in sanctioning this program. I should also thank Registrar Garu, who is here for his administrative help in sailing this lecture series through smoothly. And our main, though I am the finance officer, the financier of the university is Professor Ganesham Krishna, Director IOE. So thank you so much, sir, for having sanctioned this series and having come here today. Also, I see Professor Sabath, the Director R&D. Thank you so much, other delegates. And my thanks are due to our Dean, Professor Mary Jessica, for all her support in whatever initiatives that we take at the school. She is there with a smile. And we used to call her chief guest, but she claims that she is the chief host in all the functions. Thank you so much, madam, for hosting this. And I also thank all other delegates who are here, faculty, School of Management Studies, faculty, University of Hyderabad, all PhD scholars who have been running behind the screen to make this event happen, all the students for taking benefit of this lecture. So just before we leave the podium to Mishra for proceedings of the conference inauguration, I would like our Vice Chancellor to give a small memento to Professor Metri